My name is Ena Fishburn. I was born on the 25th of July 1919. I do some housework, washing, or whatever's needed. I like to read the newspaper and do my crosswords. Try and keep my brain active. Trying to walk around. My legs have gone on me, but we manage. I was married in 1942 at St Bede's Church of England down at the Semaphore. He was on leave from the army, and I think we had a week together before he was sent back again. Lived in Australia always. Vern and I were never ones to travel. Well, in those days, you didn't have the money to do it anyway. I think people were happier, perhaps, in those times. Things going on, people don't seem to live happy lives now like they did back then. You couldn't you couldn't get things that you wanted. Men were out of work, and no, it was very difficult. It's very, very hard for people to imagine what it was like in those days, because it's not like now that you got washing machines and you got everything at your fingertips. It was so hard to, you washed, you had a copper, and I reckon that washing used to take about all day by the time you filled the copper up with, got it going, and boiled your sheets and all that sort of thing, hung them on the line. Then you took them off and you put them through a roller. I don't know. It was just an all-day job to do a wash in those days. And fridges, you never had a fridge in those days. We had what you called a cooling safe, and used to wet towels and things and put over the top of it, and you kept your meat and your butter and all those sort of things in that. You just you just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine you young people having all those sort of things down when you got everything at your fingertips. Oh, the coupons, yes. We had, I'm not sure how often we got coupons, but I know butter was one of the things you had to have coupons for. I'm not sure about sugar. I'm not sure about all the stuff you had to use coupons for. But clothes, I reckon, was the worst part. You couldn't just go and buy a dress or something like that because it took so many coupons. And you just had to be careful, because if you ran out of coupons, you'd have to wait until they gave you another lot. My role, well, I joined up, a friend of mine who I work with, we joined up in what they called the Cheer Up Hut, which was a place, it was a town hall in Port Adelaide, and at the back of that, they made there was a big room, and any troops or, anyone belonging to the war service were able to go and have a meal there whenever they were around. And Pat and I used to go on a Sunday morning and help get the food and stuff ready for anybody who turned up. And Friday night, they had a dance in the town hall, and we used to go to that. We had really good times there. You met some lovely people, and it was so sad to see them go off. I worked in a frock shop in Rundle Street, but when the war started, anybody who was not working in services to do with the war were taken out of their place of employment and put in a munition factory, and about 4 of us girls from the frock shop went to Colton, Palmer and Preston, which was at Hindmarsh, and we worked there making all different things for the war effort. It was terrible going from sewing, and we were soldering with a heavy soldering iron and making these different things for the war effort. I lost a brother in the war. He was in the army, and he was killed in the Battle of Tobruk, and he's buried in the El Alamein war graves. I would love to have gone over and seen it, but was never able to. But I was just hoping that some of the family at one time would perhaps go over there and put some flowers there. When Mum died at I was only 9 years old, and it was quite a tragedy. She didn't have really good health, but she died very young. With best time, I think was, when I got married and bought a block of land out here and built our home. It took about 2 years to build our home because with the war and that on, you couldn't get all the materials and things that you needed for your home. I think we waited about 12 months to get tiles on our roof. But that was a joyous time when we were able to come into our home, be on our own. And also when we had our children. Well, I never thought I'd make 100, I can tell you that. But when I got closer, I thought I sort of thought, oh gosh, now I've come this far, I would like to really make it, which I was lucky enough to do so. Well, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't know, actually. I suppose we've always had good food and everything like that. But I don't know, maybe it's just luck. I don't know. Well, my great, great, great grandfather was a captain. Thomas Lipson. He came out in the first fleet that came out here, and he was made harbour master at Port Adelaide, and Lipson Street was named after him. Just drive carefully, for one thing, and just look after yourself in general. No drugs. Lots of things in your life perhaps you wish you had done, but as I say, I have had a good life.